Joe.
Professor Eric over here, guys, behind the camera.
Real cameraman, because we're going to do a hand wrap video. We got a lot of requests from some of the students to how to wrap hands, and we're going to do a training wrap. So pretty much this is your bread and butter for protecting yourself, protecting your joints while you're training boxing, kickboxing, JKD, whatever it is. If you do a competition wrap, it's going to be a little bit different. We're usually going to use tape and gauze, but most people have access to a hand wrap. And the thing about wrapping hands is when I watch some of my students go through the process, they kind of do a random thing every single time. So it always takes you a different amount of time to wrap your hands. You're not really ready for class, and you don't have something that's thoughtful and consistent to protect the bones in the hand. So there's a couple key areas. So the thing the hand wrap's trying to do, one is eliminate a boxer's fracture on the pinky, but also what's called a spread fracture, where you break the bones in the top of the hand through impact because they spread out this way. And then also damage to the joint of the thumb, because when you're wearing like a 16-ounce glove, if you think about how it looks like a mitten, the thumb is kind of sticking out, and it is possible to hit that and have the thumb get pulled backwards against the joint, or even just kind of crack the thumb. So we're gonna address all that, probably do this pretty quickly. So there is a top and bottom side. Usually there will be a tag on one side, and that will be the part that goes over the wrist. And all that does is so at the end the Velcro matches up. If it doesn't, you just put a simple twist in it. It doesn't really matter, but it's nice to look nice and neat. So let's see if I can do it. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just throw the loop over the thumb. I'm gonna pull it back towards me, and I'm gonna go over the wrist. And then I'm gonna go up to the little finger side. I'm gonna go underneath the palm, and I'm gonna go over the top. And you can see when I make a fist, it's flush just with the bottom of the knuckles. And then coming under again, I'm gonna go back down to the wrist. So if you look at the side here, a lot of people call this like a Z weave because it looks like a Z when you're making the pattern. And that's the whole thing, is you just wanna make a consistent pattern. So I'm gonna go down to the wrist, back underneath, up to the little finger. We could do that a couple times. Okay, and now on this next revolution, I'm gonna go through the little finger, turn it out, and just close my hand. And this is where you wanna start checking. It should feel kind of snug, but it shouldn't take a lot of effort to make a fist, because if it does, what's gonna happen is your little finger is gonna stick out. And that means the wrap is too tight, or there's too much material in it pulling your pinky out like that. You definitely don't wanna strike that on anything. So it should be nice and comfortable, but also start to feel secure. So I'm gonna go back out, across the top of the knuckles again. Keep opening your hand, making it spread so that it's not too tight. And now you notice I'm going in the reverse direction. I'm coming back down on the wrist this way. So when I go up this time, I'm gonna go through the pointer finger and the index finger here this way, the middle finger. So now I turn it towards me, same thing, make a fist. So what this does is we're protecting the joints by going in between the knuckles. And now I go across the hand again, back under, and back down. All right, so pretty much the knuckles are taken care of. You can keep making the Z pattern. I don't know how much of this you're getting there.
Yeah, I'm getting all of it.
Okay. And now when I come under the wrist, we're gonna protect the thumb by going over it, making a fist, and pulling it back towards us. So now my thumb is wrapped up, so if it hits anything, it's limited in how far back it's gonna go. And now we're just gonna take the rest of this, and we're just gonna finish it on the wrist. You kind of want to jog down the wrist, not too far up the forearm, and then finish the wrap right on the bones where the radius and the ulnus come together. So right here on the hand that way. So one of the reasons I like this common training wrap, like a lot of boxing gyms will use this, is because some people call it the clear palm method. So you can see your hand. So now you have this material here you can bunch up, and it's kind of like holding a roll of quarters or something. It's really gonna like reinforce your fist. So you can see I can make a fist, but none of my knuckles are flaring out. It doesn't take me a lot of effort. And that's really important to mention. That's why you gotta keep your hands spread. Because if it's too tight, you're gonna feel good about it in the beginning, but as you get tired, you're gonna be unable to keep your fist closed, and those things are gonna drift. So you wanna make sure it's snug, but everything is flush, really easy to keep the fist. I'm gonna do the beginning one more time, real fast, just so you guys can see how to start it, and then you'll be able to go from there. All right, so pull the thumb, go over the wrist, See, I'm already starting to flare it. Go back up to the little finger, under the palm, and that's your Z weave. Okay, see, I'm going to continue to spread my hand. I'm going to go diagonally back to the wrist this way, and then under. And then you can keep making those, depends on the length of your wrap. I really like 110 inches or even down as short as 90, I'll make it work. Commonly, like if you see an Everlast brand, you'll see 120 inches and they're just too big. You're gonna end up with like a lot more in your forearm. Unless you're like a really big human being, like 6'5", 6'6", there's really no reason to have 120 inches of wrap, right? So see, I keep closing and then I open because I'm checking it. Does it feel good? Okay, open it back up. I already did both knuckles. Now it's just a matter of like how much padding you want and where, and you can adjust it. So like if you have wrist problems, you might spend more time, more revolutions on the wrist and ignore some of the X's. If the top of your hand hurts, you might protect it a little bit by doing more X's across the top of the hand. And you might not even wrap your thumb. Maybe you don't even need to do that, but I'll do it again. So I go over the thumb, back towards me, make a fist, back down the wrist. And 2 for 2 on the Velcro. Solid, I look professional. And what you can see is, it's the same exact wrap again. And this is what you want. Not like when you're kind of warming up, you're like, oh, a little bit here, a little bit there. Just like training, consistency is really just the key. So if you have a consistent way to wrap your hands, you can do it in like 3 minutes. And you'll be flying through the stuff. And it's always gonna feel good. It's not gonna be bunched up one day and not protective the next. So, anything you want to add, Professor?
That's great. Terrific.
All right, guys. I hope that works. Let me know if you got good angles. If you want us to repeat this or do it from some other direction, we'll be happy to do it. Thanks for watching, Warriors. Really appreciate you.